Hello and welcome back to my little Dashie. Life is really hard. Let's go ahead and get this shit started. Chapter 5, Rehab. Tittle's rehab facility had been in my town since I was just a little boy. I remember passing it on my way to school. It loomed over my life upon that high cliff face. The stone structure was ancient and broken. You could just tell that it was that bad place that you never wanted to go to. Well, I sat inside the walls of this stone hell. I sat there with nothing but the tattered rags on my back. I looked up at my cellmate. A large, burly African-American sat on the bed on the other side of the room. "Hey, what you in for?" I asked him. "Weed. You?" "They're saying copious amounts of LSD, but I never took any." I looked down for a second, then glanced back up. I wonder what Dashie is up to." "Who?" The black man looked at me, head cocked, eyebrow raised. "My wife." "Indeed." "She ran off shortly before I was sent here." I looked down again. A tear fell from my eye. It landed on the floor with a quiet plop. "That really sucks, man." The black guy came over and put his hand on my shoulder. "Stick with me, and we'll make it out of here in one piece." I never really liked black people. I was somewhat of a racist ever since one took my television. I guess there's a first time for everything. "All right, man." "Sure." I looked at him and nodded. I was sitting on a chair, watching television. I was watching My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. Two fat Mexicans came out of nowhere and started making fun of me. I stood up and told them off. "Go fuck yourselves. Actually, go fuck each other," I yelled to them both.
"What did you say, man?"
The fatter Mexican said to me right before throwing a punch in my face. I stumbled back a step and swung myself. My clenched fist made contact with his eye. The fat Mexican fell on his ass while his partner kicked me in the groin. I fell to my knees in pain. What a cheap shot. Both Mexicans close in on me. One of them pulls out a small knife from his pocket.
"Let me put a smile on that face of yours,"
the armed Mexican said with a sneer. "He speaks right behind you." It was Black Man. A chair collided with both the Mexicans' heads, sending them both to the ground, bleeding profusely. "Black Man, my hero!" I cried out with tears of joy. I ran up to him and embraced him with a giant bear hug. A black bear, that is. He kissed me on the forehead, which put a deep blush upon my cheeks. "Oh, stop it, you," I said, trying to hide my embarrassment. "Oh, all right," Black Man said, letting go of me and parting our embrace. Later that day, I was in the mess hall, eating my animal crackers and Capri Sun whilst chatting with Black Man. We were discussing the decent decline in the economy. "If weed was legal, we could tax it. The economy would be better and I wouldn't be here," Black Man said as he poked at his My Little Pony licensed SpaghettiOs. "But then I wouldn't have met you." I looked up from my food. Black Man looked up too. We stared into each other's eyes, happy together by the turtles playing in my head. Both of us leaned forward, our faces now only an inch apart. Right now is the happiest I have been in a long time.
"What in Sam fucking hell are you faggots doing?"
The warden yelled, walking briskly toward us, baton drawn. Black man was the first to be knocked out. Next was my turn. I threw up my arms in defense, but I was too slow. I awoke on a tile floor. I looked to my side. Black man was laying next to me. I heard a constant noise like static or a television. After I completely regained my senses, I noticed we were in the showers. The room was dim and I could scarcely see. I nudged Black man on the shoulder.
Huh? Where am I?
He said as he got to his feet.
You're in the showers.
A familiar Mexican-sounding voice called out from the darkness. The lights flashed on, nearly blinding me. I held up my hands to cover my eyes whilst they adjusted to the large volumes of light entering them. I could now see the two Mexicans from earlier, along with other Mexicans I hadn't seen before.
Prepare your anus, Holmes.
The fat Mexican yelled. Then they charged at us, all of them. I closed my eye to pretend they weren't there and that this was all a dream, until one of their dicks penetrated me. I yelled and screamed at the top of my lungs. I threw up my fist and nailed a Mexican about to penetrate my face. I rolled over and kicked the Mexican currently feeling my anus. He flew back nearly 20 feet. As I tried to crawl away, another one grabbed my ankle. I used the alligator death roll to get him on his back. I got up, jumped up, and landed, planting one foot on his neck. One loud audible crack of his bones breaking. The rest of the Mexicans backed away from me as I stood up, panting heavily through my bared teeth. I let out a loud roar which sent the Mexicans running and screaming. After that encounter with the Mexicans, I didn't have many more problems at Rehab. Life was pretty normal here. I lived my life like there was no tomorrow. Fucking bitches and getting paid, and a dream at least. A good portion of those days were uneventful. It was always the same routine. I woke up, took my anti-LSD pills, cuddled with the black man, ate supper, and then went to sleep to restart it all the next day. Until a certain day came up. It started out as any normal day until I went to my daily cuddle with Black Man. He wasn't there. His bed was empty. I looked around and flagged down a guard. "Where is Black Man?" I asked, confused.
Blackie Manuel's rehab period is over. He went home.
I began to tremble. I fell to my knees and let out a yell. No! At that moment, I heard a loud boom of an explosion. Then I heard yelling in the language of the sand niggers. Arabic.
Ali Akbar!
Yelled the sand nigger. There was another explosion. There was a large hole on the outer retaining wall. Rehab inmates were pouring out in the open world. I ran to join them. I was free. I ran until my stubby fat legs gave out, about 60 feet outside the rehab center. I saw a couple of kids playing with razor scooters on the sidewalk. I took one of them, ripped the handle off, and rode down the street on my makeshift skateboard, with a Back to the Future theme playing in my head. Chapter 6. Nigga sheet about to go down. After rehab, I attempted to remove all the jail tats that I got while in rehab. Who would have guessed rehab is such a dangerous place? The first thing I noticed is there was drafting posters. So naturally I was curious as fuck as to what it was all about. On the poster it showed a white midget horse holding a hoof like she was hailing Hitler. This didn't bother me much. The only thing on my mind was, where the fuck is that little blue cunt-licking bitch at? I quickly made my fat neckbeard way to my house. This is where I found a note from R.D.
Dear Neckbeard, I have left your shitty house and left to join the NIGGA Space Force. So fuck off, you piece of shit. Love, Dashie. Heart.
Well, I'm not fucking letting that fucking little blue waffle get away with this time. I'm going to form a shitty little rebellion force, and more than likely fail in the long run, and I'm going to be the one left alive. 3 shitacular months later, I have formed a small shitty platoon of dicks. Here's the list of the fuckers. Dick Johnson, faggot captain of the ARP. He was raped when he was 5 by his sisters. Rock Hard Willie, some Russian heavy gunner. He has 2 penises, but he's fucking Russian. 1 boobed Betty, the sexy and not so sexy sniper. She's a tranny, so her dick is limper than a 2-year-old's. Black Nigga Thunder. He's black, and when shit gets down, he's the first to die. Ray William Johnson. We sort of had to let him in because of YouTube's terms that we agreed to, so yeah. He's sort of only there to make shitty jokes that no one gives 2 shits about. It was time to act. We mounted our space dinosaurs and prepared for liftoff. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, liftoff! We took off. All of a sudden, my dick grew rock hard and pushed a button. Ray William Johnson's dinosaur burst into flames. Ray's eyes started to melt.
Oh my fucking god!
He screamed. His hair, which is really a wig, fell off and burned into dust. A piece of the dinosaur exploded, which in turn cut off Ray's arm, sending it flying off.
My fucking arm! Ah!
Blood was spilling from his mouth. Another bit of dinosaur exploded, sending melting pieces of metal straight through him. One cut through his stomach, spilling his organs. They started flapping against the wind. A head crab fell onto his stomach and started burrowing itself into him, tossing bits and pieces out. His limp body fell off the burning dinosaur and flew towards Willie's. His mangled leg got caught on the tail. His limbs dangled in the wind passing by. We decided to leave him there as he made a fantastic flag to show that we were a bunch of badass motherfuckers.
I regret my poor YouTube career,
he said, letting out his last breath. We entered into space. It was a very spacious space of spaciousness. Space was, in many words, a piece of shit. There was a space station. It was the shape of a one-legged duck with tentacles bursting from the ass. We parked our dino rockets at the local space bar. The Milky Way neon sign illuminated us to walk into the cold brick building suspended in a geometric anti-gravity field. The sign was missing an eye. A piece of the sign didn't go out. I was written out with an I. Fuck it, here's a picture. I walked up to a random patron. Have you seen this little blue fuck? I said, holding the picture of RD from Chapter 3.
You're gonna have to fucking text-to-speech that shit. Because it's like...
Alice Walela Alan Bahada Anintums by Alan.
The guy yelled at me in sad Irish. I turned and looked at the man. I questioned him, then slapped the shit out of his sandy little ass. He rolled on the ground, crying like a little cunt. NIGGA shock troopers entered the bar. It was time to start this shitty rebellion. We started shooting the shock troopers with our guns. I hit one of them. The helmet. It was Rainbow Dash. She died. I started crying. Then I noticed a note in her pocket. I looked at it.
The story of the littlest leper, A short story by Rainbow Dash. Long, long time ago, in an island far, far away, in a hole in the ground, there lived a leper. Not a clean, nice, dry hobbit hole. In this hole lives a stout, tiny, little, robust, cautious, adorable, anxious, bewildered, adventurous, calm, busy, excited, drab, foolish, filthy, evil, frail, precious, plain, mushy, modern, puzzled, unusual, weary, vast, uptight, super, wild, zealous, courageous little leper. He had many talents. He liked and disliked many things. At this point, you may have noticed I put everything in the past tense. That's because he's dead. I mean, he's a leper after all. One bizarre thing he loved to do was exclaim, "Shaboodah!" This one thing is what perhaps got him into the most trouble. The word, which means naked prey, is what he would yell whenever he would devour someone's testicles. One sunny afternoon, a stranger washed ashore one of his many beaches. He woke up to the sight of a skeleton next to a bunch of UPS boxes and a Wilson volleyball. All of a sudden, he heard, "Shaboodah!" When he next awoke, his legs were ripped to a bloody mess. He looked up and saw the little leper and pulled out his SW-44 from his jacket pocket, for which he carried for this exact predicament. He pointed the barrel of the revolver at the tiny leper. He pulled the trigger, which flung the hammer down, hitting the firing pin, which in turn smashed into the primer of the bullet, which exploded the gunpowder propelling the bullet. The bullet rocketed at 870 miles per second towards the leper. The bullet punctured his skin, shattering his skull, destroying his brain matter. Flying out on the other side in a bloody mess, the man then turned the barrel on himself and shot himself dead. This is the end of our little story. I sincerely hope you enjoyed it.
The end. What? Did you think something dramatic would happen? No, fuck you. Good day. I really love Booty. I really love Booty. I really love Booty. I really love